and welcome. Thank you for your time. I want to show you through this new buttons stuff that I've been working on. It's now live and ready to be played around with. The idea behind this is to be able to produce buttons without needing any custom code. That's the plan. So far, all of our buttons require custom HTML and CSS, and it's not great because a lot of people can't make any changes to buttons, can't implement buttons. Um, so anyway, this page is called Buttons, is in Site Center, then Design Options, and then this new one here, Buttons. I'm on the Dominator Master at the moment, and I've just implemented this one, which I've called Standard for now. And anything that's in the master, just like everything else, will be duplicated into the individual instances that are created from the master instance. So if we end up creating more button styles in here, they will be duplicated to all of our new instances. So the idea is you can have as many button styles as you want, and the idea of button styles is just like any variations that you want to have. Some sites you have like an inverted version color-wise. You have one that's useful for light backgrounds and one that's useful for dark backgrounds. Different sizes. Some might have an icon, some might not, and those would all be different button styles. So anyway, let's create a new button style. So I just created a new one, and it's just created this one here. This is their default button, not very pretty or useful, but that's what it is. So we'll edit it. This is the button name, so we can call it whatever we want. Let's call it standard, I don't know, we'll call it standard red, I don't know, whatever. And this is the preview of the button over here, and it will change as we change our settings here. So we'll just up the font size a bit, that's looking good. Give it a bit more room to breathe, a bit more padding. What else should we do? We called it red, so I probably should make it red, shouldn't I? How's that? Maybe we'll make the border the same color as the background for now. Our text color probably should be white. That probably works better on a red background. How's that? So that's looking all right, looking nice. We don't have any border radius at the moment. The border radius is rounded corners basically, and you can see that the higher that is, the more rounded the corners of the button are. You can add, just to make that a bit more subtle. How's that? 4. There we go. You can add overrides for hover styles. Maybe what should we do? Should we do the background color? So you change the background color on hover, and we'll make it a what should we do? I don't know. A lighter shade of red, and then yeah, it does that when you hover over it. Maybe since it's a lighter shade of red, we could make the text color darker. Does that work better? I don't know, it's a bit ugly, isn't it? Probably the last thing I'll show off is the transition time. So this is just using CSS transitions. Basically means that rather than instantly changing, it will gradually change. So it's in seconds, and it supports fractions of a second, decimals. So we'll go 0.3 is probably a good baseline, and hopefully you can see that on the video. It's just subtly transitioning rather than going instantly. So anyway, we'll save that. That's our, actually save and continue. That's our new button style, and there on the preview it does the hover thing as well, so you can see what each one does. Shall we make a version with an icon? That's a good idea. So for each button style we can duplicate it, which is this thing here. So click on that. Copy of standard red is what it calls it by default. We'll edit that, we'll give it a standard red with arrow icon. So that's when this thing here comes into play. This whole button system is not quite, it's not perfect, not going to lie. It probably needs a little bit of refining. The icon is the only thing at the moment that I think will be a bit hard for some people to grasp. Basically, you can put whatever HTML in there you want at the moment. What I've been doing is putting Font Awesome icons in there. So if we go to the Font Awesome icon page, which is just fontawesome.com/icons, I'll send around a link to this page. You can search for whatever icon you want. Let's go arrow, and we'll find this, say, arrow right. That'll do. And then we just click on this to copy it to the clipboard, and it copies it to the clipboard. And then we just chuck that in there. And as you can see, we now have an icon on our button. Yeah, so in the future we can definitely refine this. Like, we could have a drop-down list of all of the Font Awesome icons. That would be a bit unwieldy because there's thousands of them. There's also different variants of all these icons: solid, regular, light, thin, duotone. Yeah, so there's thousands of these icons and different variants. Also, this is obviously only Font Awesome. There are other icon libraries out there that we could support in future. Also, you might want, I don't know, like an image or something. So anyway, we can refine it in future, but for now that's what it does. The only other thing that I'll show is the space between the text and the icon. It's 12 pixels by default, which I think will work well most of the time. And it just changes how far apart the two are. So anyway, we'll save that as well. So now we've got our 3 icons. Sorry, 3 buttons. So the way we use them is we'll go to a page which I've been testing with, this button test page, and I've got just a section here with a link in it. So contact us page. First thing you'll see is this little guy here. So if you create a link, it will that little helper thing will pop up, and you can edit the link by clicking on that guy, or unlink by clicking on that guy. So that's what that is. Anyway, so we'll click on that guy to, and then we have this new link display option here, and we can change that to button. This only appears if there is at least one button style in the site, by the way. And then we can choose our button style. So let's go standard red, and we'll go update, and we now have a button link. When you have a button link, we have options to align it left, right, and center. That's really only because selecting the text, I don't know, I just felt it was a bit awkward. The normal justification stuff in the text editor works fine, but I just felt it was slightly nicer to use, these little buttons here. I don't know, agree, disagree, whatever. We can work on that if people have thoughts and feelings about it. Anyway, so save that, and then on the site, crap. Okay, whoops. I just did a force reload, and it's there now. Not sure what's going on there. It shouldn't need a force reload, but I'll look into that. Anyway, so we now have our button, and it links to the Contact Us page. So all good. What I'll do now is just change the button style. Bugger it. That should disappear. Never mind, I'll sort that out. So I'll change the button style to the one with the icon. Save, reload, and we now have a button with an icon. Cool, so far so good. The only other place that buttons are used is in form sections. We now have, again, if there is at least one button style in the site, here we go. We now have this button style option. Previously it was text and image. We almost never use images as submit buttons, but it was an option. It still is an option. But now we have this button style option. So anyway, so we can save that, and then that was on the home page, wasn't it? Do I have another force reload? I do. There you go. So anyway, there's my button. Probably the icon looks a bit funny in that situation. Yeah, I'll put that back to standard actually, just in case I forget later. Yeah, so that's about it. Any questions? Let me know what you think. I am keen to get this rolled out across all new sites. This is on the Dominator Master at the moment, and I'll be working with Harold to update all of the buttons everywhere on this site, which will then update all of those buttons on all of the sites that are duplicated from the master, and then we will be able to have PMs change the button styles more easily. Hopefully they actually do it. There's probably only one little thing that I will mention, one other little thing I'll mention here. That is that when you are working in a text block, like in the CMS, when you're working in the text block, the button takes on the style of the text from the text style here, but it doesn't do that in the form settings because there's no there's no text style to specify. So what I'm doing at the moment, this is something that we should probably look at in future, but what I'm doing for now is just putting this one little custom CSS declaration here, just at the top of the style sheet, and it just says what the font is, because if you don't specify this, then it doesn't know. We don't have the notion of a site-wide default font, so that's why this is necessary. We probably should introduce the idea of a site-wide default font, but we don't have it just yet. So anyway, this will be refined in future, but for now, that is necessary, and that will probably be a VA thing for now to to change that. So yeah, that's all. Hopefully that all made sense. Please let me know if you have thoughts. I'll be working with Harold, like I said, to roll this out on the master instance. Yeah, otherwise, have a great day. Thanks, everyone. Bye.